The majority of men over 60 are unaware that the changes occurring in their penis are warning signs rather than simply the result of age, an indication that your manhood is silently shutting down, that your pelvic tissues are irritated, and that your blood is no longer flowing freely. When your morning erection wanes, you may notice it. Sometimes it gets hard to be intimate, or when you wake up several times during the night to go to the bathroom. However, nobody tells you this. What you believed was lost can be restored in a straightforward, natural way by combining baking soda and castor oil. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, a men's health specialist and urologist with more than 30 years of experience in assisting senior men in regaining control, strength, and feeling. Without drugs, without embarrassment, without delusions of optimism. I realize now that it sounds odd. Castor oil? Baking soda? What on earth would that do to your penis? But I need you to stay with me for precisely that reason. Because this blend science addresses all of the underlying causes of erectile dysfunction: tissue stiffness, irritated prostate, poor blood flow, and an accumulation of toxins in the groin. I'll explain how this combo works, why it can help you regain function and confidence in as little as 7 days, and how to use it safely step by step in this video. You're about to learn what happens when two basic chemicals are combined. Additionally, give your body another chance. By the conclusion, you'll see why this may be the greatest underappreciated men's health secret of all time. Make sure you've subscribed and clicked the bell before we begin this potent healing technique so you don't miss another natural health tip tailored to men like you. Type 1 in the comments section if you find resonance in this message. Type 0 otherwise. I'm constantly willing to learn new things and improve my service. Let's start with something that most men are unaware of, and that's precisely why this baking soda and castor oil approach is so important. Age is not the only factor that reduces sensitivity or affects erections. It's what's taking place within your body: a prostate that isn't working properly, inflammation that presses against nerves, and a slow, silent drop in circulation. The first key you must comprehend is this one, because everything else starts to make sense after you do. 1. I want to tell you something that could surprise you. Why penile function declines after 60, and why this isn't your fault. It's not your fault if you wake up during the night more frequently than you'd like, if your erections aren't as strong as they once were, or if your sensitivity seems dull. Furthermore, old age isn't the only thing catching up with you. To be honest, the explanation is deceptive and way too simple. In reality, things are much more complicated and promising, because you may begin to reverse it once you comprehend it. I've sat across from men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s for decades, you see. Men of strength, men of wisdom, men of shame. Because they were unable to perform as well as they formerly could, they believed that something was wrong with them and that they were becoming less manly. I recall a man named Raymond saying, "Doctor, I feel like I've disappeared down there." After he looked me in the eye, that really got to me. I'd seen men recover from it though, so I knew it wasn't permanent. A lot of times, blood flow, or more precisely the loss of it, is the true cause of your function deteriorating. The arteries supplying blood to the pelvic area grow less flexible, thin, and rigid as we age. More than practically any other organ of your body, the penis depends on healthy circulation. Without it, response time slows, hardness wanes, and sensitivity decreases. Your hormones aren't the problem. You don't want it. You have it in your blood. However, it's not the whole tale. Additionally, inflammation, particularly around the prostate, exerts pressure on blood vessels and neurons in the area. In addition to making it difficult to achieve or maintain an erection, this also results in the persistent urge to urinate at night, which disrupts your sleep and depletes your vitality. It's like attempting to run an engine with blocked gasoline lines when your lower pelvis gets swollen and obstructed. Stasis is another issue. Many men sit longer, exercise less and unintentionally store toxins and lymphatic waste in their groin after the age of 60. Natural detoxification processes in the body slow down. The blood becomes lethargic. The oxygen that tissues require is not provided. This internal congestion eventually manifests as numbness, emotional detachment, tiredness, and loss of arousal. Here's the good news, though. You can take action once you realize that congestion, inflammation, and circulation, rather than aging, are the issue. Not using tricks or drugs, but something as basic and organic as baking soda and castor oil. Because castor oil actually has a great power to get circulation flowing again. Additionally, it gains much more potency when used with baking soda. We must investigate what makes castor oil so special and how it affects the male body at the cellular level in order to fully understand why this works. Most men never hear this from their doctors, but you're about to find out. 2. Castor oil, the male body's circulatory warrior. In medical school, castor oil was merely mentioned in passing as an antiquated substance utilized in grandmothers' pantries and folk cures. Years later, however, as I started to concentrate on men's sexual health, I began to re-examine outdated treatments with new insight. And I was dumbfounded by what I discovered in castor oil. It works not because it's fashionable, unusual, or costly. Additionally, it functions in a manner that contemporary medicine frequently ignores. As you can see, castor oil has a really special quality. It goes deep. Castor oil passes through the layers of tissue, in contrast to most oils that remain on the skin's surface. It does more than simply warm the skin. It also transports anti-inflammatory and circulation-enhancing substances straight to areas that are clogged. And that's precisely why it's so effective for men over 60, particularly when it comes to restoring pelvic function and blood flow. I recall a 74-year-old guy named Walter who had been having trouble with weak erections and almost complete loss of feeling for 2 years before coming to me. He had tried supplements and even thought about getting an injection, but to no avail. We started with a basic routine that involved gently applying castor oil packs to the groin and lower abdomen. In less than 2 weeks, he came back to my office crying. "It's like something turned back on," Doc said. "That is blood flow's power." Additionally, castor oil promotes the lymphatic system to eliminate waste and lessen edema in addition to facilitating blood flow. It's especially important for elderly men because with time, the groin and lower pelvis can become landfills for toxins and metabolic waste. By encouraging the flow of fluid through these regions, castor oil removes stasis and gives tissues that have been depleted of oxygen and nutrients their vitality back. Furthermore, it's not only about performance, it's about experiencing life once more. The reawakening of your connection to your own body is something deeper that castor oil activates. Men report feeling warmer, while others find subtle sensations they thought were gone forever returning. It's not magic, it's biology brought back to life by nature. What's the best part? It's soft, not invasive. It doesn't need a prescription or conflict with your meds. When you apply it carefully and intentionally, you allow it to do what it has done for generations, revive areas where it has faded. However, castor oil alone is not the whole picture. The effects can be even more striking if you mix it with the proper substance, which neutralizes acid, balances pH, and breaks down stiffened tissue. Baking soda can help with that. And believe me, it's not just for your teeth or refrigerator. More than anything else in this film, you might be surprised by what it accomplishes inside the male body. 3rd, baking soda. The detoxifier that dissolves obstructions and softens tough tissue. Baking soda is typically thought of as something you store in the kitchen or perhaps use to refresh your refrigerator. Baking soda, however, transforms into something much more potent inside an elderly man's body. It turns into a healer. Years of silent accumulation are broken down by a soft, organic force. Toxic waste, acid, and stiffness have gradually eroded your manhood's sensitivity and strength. I recall Ronald, a 68-year-old patient of mine who had led a tidy, orderly life. Nevertheless, he always felt as though something was stuck inside of him. His groin felt heavy and tight, and his erections were weak. We conducted every possible test. Hormones? All right. Blood sugar? Managed. I then posed a question to him that most medical professionals would never consider. Have you ever experimented with applying baking soda externally rather than internally? His perplexed expression told it all. The majority of people are unaware that baking soda has uses beyond balancing pH. Acid accumulation in tissues, particularly in low circulation locations like the lower pelvis, is neutralized by it. Unchecked acidity fosters an environment that is conducive to inflammation. It narrows blood vessels, hardens soft tissue, and increases the body's resistance to healing over time. Because their tissues are losing the struggle against chemical stress beneath the surface, this is one of the reasons why many older men experience numbness or swelling in that area. However, when used properly, baking soda softens stiff things, loosens stuck things, and opens up passages that have been clogged for years. This is especially true when used with castor oil. It's similar to giving your body another opportunity at breathing. Ronald adhered to a straightforward procedure. He gently rubbed the lower abdomen and inner thighs with a mixture of heated castor oil and a little baking soda, then covered it with a warm cloth. He claimed to have felt a warmth that I hadn't experienced since I was 40 years old after just 4 sessions. The following week, he returned smiling and remarked, "For the first time in 6 years, Doc, I woke up with morning wood." There was no miracle here. It was chemistry. The body was at last receiving the proper conditions to heal itself. Even more intriguing, though, is how baking soda and castor oil work together in ways that go beyond their individual benefits. They produce a sort of synergy when combined. They intensify one another's effects, operating more quickly, delving deeper, and producing outcomes that are frequently noticeable in a matter of days. It's not an easy solution. However, it can feel like going back in time for guys who are persistent and patient. However, this potent combination is only the start, because where, when, and how you apply it can determine whether you have a partial or complete recovery of function and feeling. Let me demonstrate for you how to fully utilize this technique. You'll be interested in hearing every detail. 4. How to use baking soda and castor oil to increase blood flow and sensation. This is when things start to shift. In actuality, not in theory. The true magic occurs when you utilize baking soda and castor oil together with presence, patience, and purpose, now that you know what they do separately. I'm not asking you to think that miracles happen. I want you to do something for yourself that your body has probably been requesting in silence for years. Let me now demonstrate the process, which I have taught to numerous elderly men, many of whom had almost given up. Its gentleness, grounding, and restorative qualities are just as beautiful as its effectiveness. Use a fresh, warm cloth first. Add a pinch, about half a teaspoon, of baking soda to 1 tablespoon of castor oil. Mix until it's smooth. If you prefer, you can hold the mixture in your palms or place it in a dish of warm water to gently reheat it. After that, apply the mixture to the lower belly, inner thighs, and base of the groin at a calm moment without hurry or interruption. These are the places from which blood flows to the penis. The electrical wires are here, and they must be visible. Don't rush or be rough. Massage slowly in a circular motion. Force is not the issue here. The goal is to stimulate circulation, awaken tissue, and let your nervous system know that it's okay to open. For 20 to 30 minutes, if you'd like, cover the region with a warm towel. The baking soda begins to dissolve the hardened tissues that have blunted your sensitivity for years, and the heat aids in the deeper penetration of the castor oil. Within days, some men experience tingling or warmth. They sleep better according to others. Some even say they use the restroom less frequently at night. However, the most common response I get is, "I feel something again." That's where restoration starts, emotionally as well as physically. Because everything changes when a guy reestablishes even a small connection with his body. The problem is this. This is not an isolated incident. Consistency is crucial. 3 times a week is enough to make a significant difference. You're recovering a ritual, not merely applying a concoction. You are demonstrating to your body that it is still deserving of life, care, and attention. However, what if you were able to go farther? What if you could apply this blend by pressing certain acupressure sites that would increase blood flow and stimulate dormant nerves? I'll show you 3 neglected tactics that most men aren't even aware of in the next segment. They might also hold the secret to getting everything back online. 5. The forgotten pressure points that instantly increase male circulation. Sometimes the solutions we require are found in our own hands, not in medications or treatments. As I've worked with older men over the years who want to regain their strength, sensitivity, and connection, I've discovered that the human body has its own keys, quiet, tiny switches that, when pressed properly, can rekindle blood flow and energy in ways that science is just now starting to uncover. What about its beauty? They are already with you. Simply put, you haven't been instructed on how to use them. Allow me to introduce you to George, a 79-year-old widower who sought my counsel for more than simply performance-related issues. "I don't want to feel invisible anymore," he remarked. His voice faltered. Medication was not discussed. We discussed touch. While administering the castor oil and baking soda mixture, I demonstrated to him 3 easy pressure spots that may assist open blood vessels, soothe the nervous system, and restore feeling to places that had been devoid of feeling for years. The first is located in the soft hollow between the 2 tendons, directly at the base of the wrist. Chinese medicine refers to it as the heart 7 point. It helps open blood vessels, lower stress, and calm the heart rate when gently pressed for 60 seconds. The second is situated around 4 finger widths away from the groin crease on the inside thigh. Applying pressure here promotes lymphatic drainage and increases blood flow to the pelvis. The third toe, which is arguably the strongest, is located right where the big and second toes meet the foot. This point, often referred to as liver 3, aids in controlling circulation and energy associated to testosterone. Using these doesn't require you to be a healer. All you need is a calm moment, your breath, and your fingertips. George had low expectations when he started this practice. However, he gave me a call 2 weeks later. He had a different, brighter, and stronger voice. "Doctor," he replied, "I woke up feeling like myself again for the first time in years." There is no magic in these points. They serve as reminders. Your body is still reacting. You haven't lost anything because of your age. Something more lies within, just waiting to be roused. What you consume in the hours following this procedure is more important than you may imagine, though, if you're serious about regaining not just blood flow, but also overall body vigor. Because while some foods might subtly destroy all you've just rebuilt, others can strengthen your erections, lock in the benefits, and speed up your recuperation. Your comeback could be discreetly sabotaged or fueled by what you put on your plate. Next, let's discuss it. 6. The foods that make or break your results. After applying this blend, there's a moment when your body is open, calm. The blood vessels are wider, the tissues are softer, and your system is more receptive than usual. This occurs after you've applied the castor oil and baking soda blend and gently massaged it into your skin, possibly even applying pressure points. What you consume is more important now than it has ever been. This is how I would put it. The roots have just been cleansed by you. You've let the healing and blood flow freely. Imagine, however, that after a clean river is opened, trash is dumped upstream. That's what occurs when the proper habits are followed by the wrong foods. I've witnessed a lot of elderly men take good care of their physique, then reverse everything by returning to their plates simple, affordable, or well-known options. I'll tell you about Bill, a 72-year-old veteran firefighter who is extremely tough yet incredibly frustrated. He had been using the technique on a daily basis. "Something's wrong," he remarked, "but I feel the warmth returning." I seemed to take 2 steps backwards and 1 step forwards. For a week, I instructed him to record everything he ate, and there it was. A ton of processed meats, cheese, soda, and white bread. Just sugar, salt, and sludge. No color, no life. I assisted him in shifting. Beet juice is used to saturate the area with nitric oxide following application. Nothing fancy, just genuine food with a purpose. For the good fats that support your hormones, cut half an avocado. One of the strongest natural artery softeners I've ever encountered is a modest bowl of steamed spinach with garlic and olive oil. Additionally, a piece of dark chocolate, yes, genuine cacao, because it boosts nitric oxide and improves male performance in ways that most men are unaware of. A week later, Bill was feeling different. Not only was he feeling better down there, but he was also getting up earlier, going farther, and even flirting once more. He informed me that I believed I was done. My former high school sweetheart and I are currently organizing a weekend together. Giving your body what it craves once it opens up has that kind of power. The baking soda and castor oil approach makes things easier. However, eating the correct foods keeps the path clear. The outcomes are anchored by them. Yes, I'm serious about healing, they tell your body. Additionally, your thinking has the same power to either help or hurt as food. The next layer, you see, isn't even solid. Your beliefs about yourself as a man, a partner, and a person with life left are what matter. Because if you don't feel like you still matter, no strategy will work. And we're going to unlock it next. The change of perspective that transforms everything. 7. The mental change that re-energizes your manhood. The largest barrier to recovery isn't physical, but most men over 60 are unaware of it. It has nothing to do with hormones or arteries. When you look in the mirror in the morning, you silently tell yourself that. The tacit acceptance of decline is a result of the quiet notion that this is simply the way things are at my age. Right now, I want to confront that with the truth, rather than with illusory optimism. I have had the opportunity to sit across from hundreds of strong, hard-working guys who had convinced themselves that their prime was over and that they were no longer desirable. Performance was never the only thing that hurt. Identity was at issue, about feeling like a guy when your body doesn't react the same way it used to. And this is what I discovered, which surprised me. The body pays close attention to what the mind thinks. Frank, a 67-year-old who had survived prostate surgery, is someone I recall. He had completed the treatments and complied with every advice. "I'm well physically, Doc, but I don't feel like a man anymore," he said. I was devastated by that. I asked him to do something easy instead of giving him more medicines. I instructed him to put one hand on his chest and repeat aloud, "I still matter. My story isn't over." Each time he applied the mixture of castor oil and baking soda. At first, he thought it sounded ridiculous. But something changed during the course of the following month, not only in his physical attributes, but also in his posture, gaze, and self-talk. He claimed that I felt alive once again because I stopped treating myself as though I had already passed away, not because everything is ideal. In actuality, your body reacts to your intention. Something inside rekindles when you approach healing with belief rather than despair. You move in a unique way. Once more, you exude a sense of quiet pride. Indeed, this affects hormone response, circulation, and performance. It is supported by science. But more significantly, so are the lives of actual men who are determined to succeed. What do you choose to believe about your manhood today? I ask. Are you putting off acting strong until you feel strong? Or are you prepared to pretend to be it and then allow the strength come naturally? Because most doctors won't tell you this fact. Your body is paying attention. And everything you do, say, and believe either fuels your fire or gradually extinguishes it. However, belief is insufficient on its own. You must have rhythm. To put all of this knowledge into practice, you need a straightforward daily schedule. You're halfway there. Let me now demonstrate how to turn this into a 7-day regimen that will genuinely transform your life. What follows may surprise you. 8. The 7-day pattern that ties everything together. You're more than simply curious if you've read this far. You're dedicated. That gives me a strong impression of you. Those men who silently accept decline are not you. You're searching for a path back and a path ahead. It's time to combine everything into a single easy routine now that you know how castor oil and baking soda work, how your attitude affects the process, and what foods help it along. To be honest, the reason why most older men fail is not that they don't care, but rather that they never put what they learn into practice. The true secret here is that putting all of this information into a pattern that your body can rely on. I say this to my own patients. Spend some time slowing down each evening. Take your time. It's not just another chore. It's customary. 1 tablespoon of organic castor oil should be warmed up. Add a pinch of baking soda and stir until a smooth, slightly thick mixture forms. Next, gently massage it into your lower abdomen and pubic region, which is the intersection of nerve activity, blood flow, and prostate health. Make circular, slow movements. Keep your hand firm, but gentle. Applying oil isn't the only thing involved here. It's about bringing your body back into focus. The number of men who haven't touched this area in years, aside from necessity or frustration, may surprise you. However, by using this blend, you are demonstrating to your body that the objective is healing rather than disappointment or shame. After applying, spend 10 to 15 minutes lying down. Allow the warmth to permeate. Let your nervous system regain its calm. Just silence, no phone, no distractions. Use a warm compress for extra absorption if you wish to go deeper. However, the blend will still function without it. Give your body the nutrients it needs as soon as possible, not 2 hours later. A glass of superfoods, a hard-boiled egg, or a small bowl of spinach or beets. They are allies of circulation. They are like fuel for the fire you just started. For 7 days, do this every night. Men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s have begun to regain energy that they had previously believed to be long gone. More confidence, a stronger stream, fewer night awakenings, and a little more morning fullness. The journey starts here, but it doesn't happen all at once. What's the best part? Your body starts to anticipate recovery rather than deterioration the more you do this. The true transformation is that. In identity, not just in performance. However, what occurs after those 7 days are over? We can then access the more profound benefits, and I'll walk you through the process of transitioning from temporary change to long-term rejuvenation. 9. After 7, 14, and 30 days, what to expect. Let's now discuss what happens when you follow through. For a week, 2 weeks, or even a month, not just for a single night. Because I am aware of how simple it is to begin something and feel unsure. You wait after applying the baking soda and castor oil, eating the proper foods, and changing your perspective. Is it actually working, you ask? Am I seeing things in my head? Let me now explain what the majority of my patients observe and what you may experience as well if you continue to be consistent. By day 7, warmth will probably be the first thing you notice, from within as well as from the oil, a silent waking. Perhaps you wake up feeling a little full, something you haven't experienced in a long time. It's not Hollywood or dramatic, but it's authentic. That is the resumption of blood flow. Additionally, some men report feeling calmer than they have in years, getting deeper sleep, and making fewer trips to the bathroom at night. The nervous system is relaxing in that way. Your body is telling you, I remember this. The changes become more profound by day 14. You might feel lighter and less tense in the area surrounding your pelvis. It starts to go away, that dull ache or tightness you've become accustomed to. Even if you're not completely aroused, erections can come back stronger. Your life starts to revert to spontaneity, and this is something strong. Many men rekindle their desire to take care of their bodies. They begin to eat better, walk more, and carry themselves with a silent sense of pride. By day 30, something more profound takes place. You begin to feel this as a part of who you are and cease to think of it as a form of therapy. Internalization of the healing occurs. The constricted blood vessels start to open. The dulled nerve signals start to reestablish themselves. Your manhood is once again supported by subtle but significant hormonal changes. Most importantly, you develop a strong sense of trust with your body. After 30 days, a man named Robert told me that it wasn't just that things were functioning again. It's because I feel like myself once more. My spouse notices it. I walk differently. My handshake is even more powerful. That is the type of change we are discussing. Complete body restoration, not just physical performance. Indeed, a blend that most people ignore was the starting point for everything. This is where things become even more intriguing, though, because the true magic starts 30 days later. When you're prepared to reveal the last secret that speeds up everything, your body has been primed. An approach now supported by science that older generations have been using covertly for decades, and it's most likely currently sitting in your kitchen. Are you prepared to discover what it is? The 10th component concealed in your kitchen. After 30 days of consistency, an amazing thing occurs. Your body isn't just reacting anymore, it's remembrance. It's getting better. A foundation has been established by the combination of baking soda and castor oil, the nutrients, the breath, and the attitude. There is yet another layer to be added. Unbelievably, it's most likely quietly waiting for you to discover its power in your pantry. It's vinegar, made from apple cider. Yes, it is that easy. Most of us occasionally use hazy bottles for digestion or cooking. However, it becomes something more when strategically combined with this routine. An activator, connecting your internal systems. I realize that may sound unrealistic, but give me a moment. Apple cider vinegar helps balance your body's pH levels when you take a few drops in warm water before your baking soda and castor oil ritual. This minor change enhances your body's ability to absorb minerals, supports liver detoxification, and lowers inflammation. The worst part is yet to come. It increases nitric oxide activity, which is the substance that causes the penis to receive more blood flow. The missing component, particularly for older men, is this, because it adds depth to the work you're already doing. It intensifies the impact. This is how some of my patients explain it. It's similar to turning everything up. They're correct, too. After incorporating apple cider vinegar into their nightly routine, they report improved sleep, more energy in the morning, firmer erections, and heightened clarity within a week. It's the first time I've felt genuinely alive in years, one man even told me. But this is what I believe is most important. This final step is more than just a physical one. It has symbolic meaning. It demonstrates your continued curiosity, openness to learning, and willingness to try. Such a spirit? It transforms everything. It lets your body know that I'm still going strong. I've only just begun. By adding this last component, you've created something more substantial than a routine. You've established a routine, an individual roadmap for recovery. It respects your age, your body, and your future. By combining science, tradition, and self-respect. What does all of this lead to, though? What happens if you keep up this momentum? For life, not for 30 days or 7 days. We'll find out about that next, because it's not an ending at the end. This is your fresh start. And when you decide to genuinely believe in this simple ritual, I'll show you just how far it can take you in a moment. In conclusion, this is the beginning of your new beginning. So here we are. Many men never even think about the path you've taken, one based on wisdom, custom, and the guts to try something new rather than on drugs or fast fixes. Castor oil's age-old healing properties, baking soda's balancing power, blood flow restoration, nervous system rewiring, and lastly, that inconspicuous bottle of apple cider vinegar subtly tying it all together. Every component has created a base for you to walk on. It's not just your penis here. It has to do with your feelings upon awakening. When you look in the mirror, it's about how confident you are. It all comes down to how you present yourself to your family, your partner, and most importantly, yourself. It has happened to me more times than I can remember. Men who find they're not done in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s, that they still have strength to give, passion to share, and stories to write about their bodies. As someone who read this in a textbook, I'm not addressing you. As a doctor who sat across from men who were just like you, tired and frustrated but not ready to give up, I'm talking to you. I'll tell you this too. People who follow this easy ritual frequently experience deeper effects in addition to physical ones, a silent arrogance, a spark. Put this knowledge to use by acting upon it, because your journey doesn't end here. It marks the start of a new chapter that is more vibrant, intelligent, and powerful than before. This is something you deserve. Go take it back now. Don't keep this message to yourself if it resonated with you. To let me know how this benefited you, click the like button, forward it to a friend who should hear it, and then leave a comment below. Consider making a small donation if you would like to help support more videos for men over 60 like this one. Every bit contributes to the mission's survival. You are important. Your well-being is important. Let's continue our journey together.